Hi, welcome to our advanced Excel training videos. Today I am going to explain you about solver add-in in Excel. What basically this solver add-in will do is it will allow us to solve LPP problems. Here I have an example. Let me show you that. Assume that we have a sweet shop and we can manufacture these 4 sweets, and resources required for producing 50 units of each type of sweet are mentioned here. You also have the quantities here. We have 5800 liters of milk, 730 kgs of sugar, and we also have the profit at which each sweet can be sold. Now, assuming that whatever you produce will be sold out, can you tell me what combination of production of these sweets can give you highest profit? So this is a typical example of linear programming problem. So in our case, let's not take this complex problem, and this is not an actual problem, it's a cooked up problem. So let's take a real-time example and a real-time problem. So before explaining you about our problem, I will just explain you a few things about LPP. So while doing LPP problems, we need an objective function. So objective function can be either to maximize, minimize, or making it equal to something. So in case of profit, we always try to maximize our profit, and in case of cost, we always try to minimize our cost, right? And equal is a case where when you want to find out at what production of you will come across break-even point. Break-even point is nothing but no loss or no profit. So in such cases, you may try to equalize your objective function to some value like 0 in case of break-even analysis, and all this should be done based on few constraints. For example, I have raw material of only 1000 units, and I have around some 10 lakh rupees of capital. So my cost should not go beyond 10 lakhs, and raw material usage should not go beyond this quantity. So these are called constraints. Basing on these constraints, I want to produce some units with minimum possible cost. So here our aim is reducing cost. So that becomes our objective function. Constraints are all the constraints which you have that you can mention there. So now, what is solver? Solver allows you to basically solve this problem of LPP. So it is an add-in in Excel which allows you to solve these LPP problems. So what is our problem? Our problem is to buy few copper utensils. So why I have selected this example is because this will generate some interest. If I regularly give you the old LPP problems, it may be really boring for you. For example, I will show you a typical LPP problem example which is available on net. So you can see this. So a calculator company produces a scientific calculator and a graphing calculator. Lomtech projections indicate an expected demand. So this is a typical LPP problem. If I start explaining you all these x greater than or equal to 0, y greater than or equal to 0, so these are constraints. So and objective functions in this x, y, z format and everything, it becomes really boring for you. So that is the reason why I have selected this shopping example. So in our shopping examples, our main aim is to purchase more number of copper utensils with minimum cost, by incurring very minimum cost. So why I have planned to purchase this copper utensils is there are number of benefits of using copper utensils. So some of the benefits are mentioned here. Anyway, that's not our subject, but for your information I have kept here. So what is our problem? I have selected one online website where there are number of copper utensils, and there are various combinations basically. So out of so many combinations, I have picked up few combinations. Especially these few combinations I have picked up because these combinations contain the utensils which I want. I basically want few glasses, so like this, and few jugs, something like this, and some bottles, something like this. So if you see, there are various combinations of glasses and bottle, glasses and jugs, glasses, jugs and bottles, everything together, and only jug, only glasses. So suppose when I say I want to purchase 5 glasses, 1 jug and 2 bottles, you need to work out all the combinations and permutations so that you incur a minimum cost. So, and at the same way, if I want to purchase some 2 jugs, 5 glasses and 6 bottles, again I need to work out all the combinations, permutations and everything. So I don't want to do this every time. So instead of this, if Excel can tell me, suppose if I say my Excel that I want 6 glasses, 2 jugs and 3 water bottles, it should automatically tell me the combinations which I have to buy by incurring the minimum cost. So when I say that, Excel should automatically tell me that you go for option 2, option 4 and option 8, something like that. It should tell me. If you see here, there are 6 glasses, 1 bottle and 1 jug, 2650. So if you work out this manually, it may show you a different solution. So when you see this, it looks very attractive, but at the end of this video you will know whether this is very attractive or not. So what we want to purchase copper utensils at possible minimal cost, and of course our main objective of this video is to understand solver add-in in Excel. So how do you solve this? So first of all, let me open an Excel sheet. By default, solver add-in will be disabled in your Excel. To enable that solver add-in, what you have to do is go to file menu, options, add-ins, and here you can find go button. Click on go, and can you see this solver add-in? It's disabled. So let me enable it and click OK. So once I do this, my solver will be enabled and it will show in data tab solver. So our first aim is to tell Excel what is our problem and what do we want. So I need to map all these 8 options with their prices in Excel. So let me put it here. Option 1, option 2 and to option 8. Fine. So quantity we don't know, so as of now let me put 0. What quantity we have to buy, that will be decided by Excel. And price, so let me see. Option 1, what is the price? 360. Option 2, 599, 750, 849. So 360, 599, 599 and 760. Fine. So what will be the cost? Cost is nothing but this into this plus this into this plus this into this. Fine. So let me do that. This into this plus this into plus n9 into n10. Enter. So let me test this. 1, so 360. If I purchase 2, it is 720, and if I purchase this one item, so total 1470. So it's working. I'll show you one more formula. So this is very difficult to type, right? So in Excel we have one more formula called sum product. Sum product will accept 2 arrays. So this is my first array, comma, this is my second array. Close. This is the easiest way to write this formula. So let us test it Fine, it's working good. So here afterwards let us write some product instead of typing this entire formula like this. Wherever there is a formula, let's highlight it with yellow color. Fine. Now we have mapped our price and quantity in Excel. So let us also put what all we get when we purchase this option 1. What we get is either glasses or a jug or a bottle. So option 1, what are we getting? Option 1 we get 2 glasses. So let me put 2 glasses here. No jugs and no bottles. Option 2 we get a jug. So no glasses, 1 jug and no bottles. Option 3 we get 6 glasses. So 6 glasses, 0 0. Option 4 we get 2 glasses and 1 jug. So 2 glasses and 1 jug, 0 bottles. So let me put here what we get. So this basically tells us how many glasses we get, or how many jugs we get, or how many bottles we get. So that how do you get? So this into this, this into this, this into this, this into this, added together you will know how many glasses you will get. And same logic works for jug. So here let's use the formula sum product of this comma this, fine, equal to sum product. So let's test it now. I want option 1 quantity 1. So can you see you get 2 glasses? So option 7 1. So 6 plus 2 8 glasses and 1 jug and 1 bottle. So our formulas are working fine. As this is a formula, let me highlight with yellow color. So what I want, that's my requirement. So let me put it here, requirement. For example, I want 6 glasses, 1 jug and 3 bottles. So now I want to ask Excel what is the best possible combination of these options which will give me all my required items at a minimal cost. So this is my requirement. So this can be solved using solver. So let's go to our solver add-in. So go to data tab, click on solver, and you get a screen like this. Here you need to first select your objective function. This is my objective function. So I don't want to maximize my cost, I want to minimize my cost. So in case of break even, you can select value of and put 0 here. So let me go back to minimum. By changing what cells? By changing these cells. So Excel has to tell me what all combinations I have to buy, which option I have to select, so that I can incur minimum cost. So these are the cells which I am allowing Excel to modify. Fine. So can you see here your constraints? You can add all your constraints by clicking on this. So let me start adding my constraints. So whatever are constraints, all these should not be in decimal. We can never purchase an item in points, right? We can only purchase in integer values. So let me say this should be an integer, add. This should be an integer, add. Option 8 should be an integer. So my next constraints are what we get should always be greater than or equivalent to our requirement. Same thing goes for jug. So once you added all your constraints, you can check them here. GHIJKLMN. So everything should be an integer, and these are our remaining constraints. So we have already mapped our objective function. We have already mentioned that we want to incur minimum cost, and that should be done by changing these variables, and these are my constraints. Click on solve. So now Excel is telling me that best possible options to buy 6 glasses, 1 jug and 3 bottles is option 2 1, option 3 1, and option 8 3. So this clearly says that this combo offer is not at all good for us. So see this offer, option 7. So Excel is telling me not to go for this offer. So for example, let me say I want 20 glasses, 5 jugs, and let me say 4 bottles. So click on solver and say solve. Click OK. So this is how our solver works. I want 12 glasses, 1 bottle, and 3 jugs. So let me click on solver and click solve. It automatically gives me best possible solution with minimum cost. So every time I need not work out my logics, permutations, combinations and everything to find out the best possible cost at which I get what I actually need. So one reason why I have selected this example is, if you look at general linear programming problems which we have on internet or in our textbooks or anywhere, the thing is to understand the problem itself is very difficult, because the problems which are there in our textbooks or on internet are very difficult to understand. So once you understand that, only then you can think of a solution, and only then you can think of mapping it in Excel and trying to solve it through solver. So that is the reason why I have selected this easiest problem, so that you can understand this problem first easily and then try to map it in Excel and solve it through solver. So finally the thing is, I have tried to explain you solver in the most possible easiest way with an easiest problem which you deal in your every day-to-day life. So nowadays online shopping has become very common. So that is the reason why I have selected this shopping example, and I hope that I have explained you the solver in the most possible easiest way. So if you have any suggestions or comments or anything, please let me know in the comment section of this video. Thank you for watching.